What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this beautiful day?
Doing good, Pat. So guess I just hit 100K. We found out before the episode, which is pretty awesome. Feeling good right now about that. I'll do a later video thanking you guys. But anyways, doing great. Yankees are doing great. Just took the series opening series against the Giants, 2 out of 3. Doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Life is good. The Yankees are good. Bro, 100K subscribers. It's dope. Congrats, Dan. Like, round of applause.
Thanks,
Everyone
dude. Couldn't have gotten here without you, Pat, and the Yanks Avenue Show.
Sure. Thanks, Dan. But before we get into anything, we're gonna recap basically the whole Yankees opening series. We'll get into some other stuff too. Before we do that, though, huge shout out to Foco. Use code Yankees Avenue. Check out, save 15% off, bro. There's great hoodies from Foco.
A lot of great stuff from Foco. Yo, I got some stuff to show you guys later on Foco. Yeah. Code Yankees Avenue, 15% off.
Let's get right to topic number 1 here, and that is that the Yankees took the opening series against the San Francisco Giants. They took 2 games out of 3. Dan, obviously, there's a lot of good things that came from the series, a lot of things that surprised us, but what would you say is the biggest takeaway?
All right, so there's, I think, a bunch of things you could have gone with here. I'm going to go with this. Man, the lineup surprised me. Now, I think it's maybe just because of Volpe in the 9-hole, which we touched on a little bit in the previous episode, but man, when the lineup first dropped on before opening day, first of all, a lot of Yankee fans, including us, were like, damn, doesn't look all that bad. It looks deep. Now watching it, even during the game 2, which, there were some times they didn't come through in big spots, but overall still scored 5 runs. And that was with probably the worst umpiring of all time. This series, period, by the way, pathetic on the umpire's end. But the Yankee offense, I thought, looked pretty damn solid, man. And just the overall length of the lineup, I feel like everybody performed. Gleyber in the leadoff spot, by the way, in game 3, that was interesting. He had a leadoff single. But, Aaron Judge picking up, I don't want to say right where he left off, because he looks even better. First 2 homers of the year. Giancarlo Stanton, first 2 homers of the year. Anthony Rizzo has looked solid. Josh Donaldson has even looked pretty good, which I'm sure we'll touch on. Waldo had 2 hits in game 3. Volpe has also looked solid. We'll touch on him too. But I think if I were to take the biggest positive away, it's how kind of comfortable I am with the lineup 3 games in.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. I think the Yankees lineup has definitely proven to be their biggest strength to start the season. And it's kind of something that's surprising because coming into this year, we kind of view that as their biggest weakness. But I would say my biggest takeaway from the opening series is that Giancarlo Stanton is underrated. And it's kind of crazy to say just because at the end of the day, he is Giancarlo Stanton. He's still one of the most known players in Major League Baseball just for being on the Yankees and his past. But I feel like we come into every single season, and one thing that stands out to me every year, I'm not a big MLB The Show player, but every year he's ranked with like a 74 overall, right?
Yeah, I had to adjust his overall this year and last year because of it. You're absolutely right.
Bro, it's insane. I feel like he's super underrated, especially even like when MLB Network makes those top 100 players. I think you can agree with me when I say this. I think when Giancarlo Stanton is on and healthy, he's easily a top 20 player in the league, right? And
I'd say offensively, absolutely.
For sure.
Dude, now that you got him playing in the field, which to start at the first 2 games, him in right field, that was sick, by the way. But sorry.
But that's what I'm saying too. It's like, don't even sleep on his defense either, because bro, he's not even a liability when you put him in the outfield. So I think, bro, these first 3 games have shown me that Giancarlo Stanton needs to stay healthy this season just because we see the impact that he makes in the Yankees lineup. And I feel like this is a topic that we've beat to death so far, but I feel like
it's a new season. We get the chance to.
Bro, we can't stress enough how important Giancarlo Stanton is to this lineup, and he's proved it.
Yeah, a couple things on this. First, I want to talk about game 2. So he has the homer, right? And then big spot in the 9th inning, ends up grounding into a double play, which another total blow on the review system, but just the umpires as a whole. Both runners were safe. But regardless, Stan, although he even hit a homer, and he just for the past few years and really his whole Yankee career as a whole has been the most clutch player on the team, he still is just able to write a book 101 on how to be accountable, how to handle New York. This man, after having a good game still, shows up in the post game and is like, yo, that loss is on me. That's unacceptable. One of the many reasons why he's really growing on a lot of Yankee fans. And I don't think among this fan base, there's really too many haters remaining, but you're definitely right. He's absolutely underrated amongst the game with you on that. That homer in game 3, though, man, that honestly, dude, I feel like, 485, I'll respect it because, sometimes players will hit bombs and then they list it at like 440. It's like, bro, what? 485 is still respectable. I think it went further. And it was hilarious
second
too.
Longest of his career.
Yeah, and the longest by a Yankee since Judge in 17, where he hit Judge hit a 495 and a 497. But yo, it was hilarious too because my boy was
He had a
roasting me on that Judge
497?
homer. Yeah, so a lot of people forget about this. You had the 495 that Judge hit, the
Yeah,
bomb to
against
left center
Baltimore.
against
Yeah.
Baltimore. He hit his last homer of the season actually against it was against Marcus Stroman against the Blue Jays, if you
Yeah.
remember. It was like game 161, game 162, an absolute bomb. Anyways, yo, my Mets fan friend was trolling me, Colin, right after the Judge homer. He was like typical Yankee Stadium crap, which is BS to begin with, anyways. And then right after, bro, I was like, oh, how about this one? Because he's on a little bit of delay, the Stanton homer, an absolute bomb. You're right, dude. I mean, if you're gonna go by like, I don't know, an MVP like of the series, he might kind of be up there. Because, dude, that homer we needed. I don't want to say there was bad vibes after game 2 because it is just game 2. But like, yo, if we were to lose today's game, would have been a bummer. And when Stanton hit that 2-run blast, it was like, all right, let's have a good Sunday today. And it led to yeah, we did.
Yeah. No, I agree. Bro, shout out to Giancarlo Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I say we get into topic number 2 here, and that is, Dan, one early overreaction 3 games into the 2023 season.
All right, here's my early overreaction. And I think we should put a caveat, like a rule on this.
I really hope you don't take mine.
I don't think I will, but you're not allowed to say it's too early here. That's the point of this topic.
Sure.
And I'm going to go with Johnny Brito. Johnny Brito is going to finish top 3 in the American League for Rookie of the Year this year. I don't think he's going to finish past Anthony Volpe, which once again, we'll get to. But dude, how about Brito? I talked at length about the spring he had and like his past in the minors, how good he's been. Dude, he showed up today. And honestly, he might be one of my more exciting players to watch entering this year. 5 scoreless innings. And dude, the control was there. The fastball is nasty, by the way. I didn't realize he gets all the way up to like I think he may have touched 98 today. Changeup was absurd. And yo, after the way Clark looked in game 2, hey, if Brito shit the bed today, Pratt, you probably would have had some stuff to say to me about my whole like, not overreacting to the pitching.
Sure.
So I think we kind of, after Clark, the way he looked, having Brito show out the way he did was huge. And now it might turn into a conversation. Rendon's back in 2 weeks. Is Clark going to the pen? Let's see how Domingo does in game 2 against the Phillies or whenever it is, or game 3. But Johnny Brito, I think, might be here to stay, Pat. I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely pleasantly surprised by his first start as a Yankee. He pitched great. There wasn't even any moments where I'm like, yo, like he might be in a little bit of trouble here. You know what I mean? It was just like 5 very pleasing innings to watch.
Even in that first inning, real quick, he looked so calm. And like,
sure,
that was probably, if you want to say, his worst inning, just because like the pitch count. But this is something they talked about on his scouting report, and just his makeup is that he doesn't let the moment, overwhelm. And we hear a lot about prospects, but it's cool when you can actually see it. This dude looked calm as bricks out there. Is that the saying? Calm as bricks? I don't know. Calm as whatever. But you get my vibe.
Yeah,
you get my vibe.
Sure. But yeah, no, definitely an amazing start. That the Yankees definitely needed coming off of Clark Schmidt's terrible performance. Terrible, maybe harsh to say, but it wasn't good. Okay. My early overreaction, I have a main one, and then I have like an honorable mention. First,
Sure.
I'll give my honorable mention, and that's Clark Schmidt. I think that it's kind of clear at this point, Clark Schmidt is not a starting pitcher. We kind of talked about this coming into the season. Based on looking at his numbers last season, I know it was a small sample size. I think he only made like 3 starts, but it was obvious last season he wasn't capable of being a starting pitcher, and I think he also proved it on what day? Saturday. That bro.
I'm just going by games now. Game 2, but yeah,
sure.
On.
Game 2. I don't view him as a starting pitcher in the sense of he looked good for the first 3 innings. 4th inning comes around, complete collapse. Like, bro, he's a relief pitcher. I think if you let Clark Schmidt go more than 3 innings, he's going to collapse. And I don't know like how much more the Yankees want to experiment with this Clark Schmidt starting pitcher experiment. I just don't see it going well. So then that's why I think that the emergence of Johnny Brito is so important, because now when you see him kind of be good, hopefully, in the near future, that kind of takes away the need of Schmidt in the rotation,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. I'm going into this year and still am. I mean, it was 1 start, but like trusting the numbers, trusting like what a lot of the analytics say that Clark is legit. And I know he has fantastic stuff, but I think you make a good point. First time through the order, first 3 innings, he was damn solid. And you can attribute that to only facing each hitter once or the pitch count, whatever it may be. A big story this year going with Clark was he was adding the cutter to help against left-handers, which is something he struggled with in the past. And that was working at first. You saw a lot of swings and misses on that. And I was like, damn, Clark looking good. Like, yo, if this was the plan to use this against lefties and it's clearly working, that could be really exciting. But then what happened? You get through the second time the order and they're just crushing the ball. You have the Brandon Crawford home run? Jock Peterson had an absolute bomb. So
should have been a Yankee, by the way. Just I'm gonna keep saying that.
Perfect. I think still could be one day, but
maybe.
Yo.
But yeah, that
Foco, not yet, bro. Goddamn. But anyways, I just want to say it's with Schmidt. I think if you're one that thinks Clark is better suited as reliever, yesterday is probably, or game 2 is probably the best example or best like evidence you could use for that argument. I'm with you.
Yeah. And like, also, let's not forget, that's my honorable mention. I have a bigger overreaction.
Oh, word.
Right?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Clay Holmes is a problem. Like, let's just kind of like call a spade here. And I know it's one performance to start the season, but I was looking at his numbers. Bro, dating back to July of 2022, the dude has like a 6.2 something ERA.
Remember when he came back from the injury and into the playoffs, he was money. Remember we talked about that? Like those splits are effed up, but like if you look at from like I think September 10th on, in like 20 innings, he had like a 2 ERA. So
no, Dan, I get it. But also at the same time, we can't ignore the fact that he's the definition of unreliable, right? Like when Clay Holmes is coming into a game, I never know what I'm going to expect. And I think that that's a problem, especially when you're viewing him as the Yankees closer, which is kind of what he seems like he is coming into the season.
He is.
And I think kind of like looking at his performance in game 2, it was, right? Game 2. Bro, it's not a good sign. And I think my biggest early overreaction is that he's a problem for the Yankees bullpen.
Yeah, it's one game. I'm able to ignore it. It's not something that concerns me all that much. I just think, you see my tweet the other day? I totally jinxed him. I don't even believe in jinxes. First couple sinkers, I'm like, greatest sinker of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And then he proceeds to give up a hit, and then proceeds to give up 2 runs. And that's why I tweeted out, I'm like, damn, I might be an a-hole, bro, because I kind of jinxed him.
I replied, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I might be a fall for that. Listen, it's one game. I'm not really concerned all that much about Holmes at all. It's just the location, which I think he'll be able to fix. What matters to me is that the break on the sinker was there. Like, boy, was it there. I thought his pitches actually looked pretty good. He just left them up in the zone. No matter what, you leave that sinker, any pitch, you leave the ball up, and I don't care if it's the best pitch of all time. You leave it up in the zone like that, it's going to get. Yeah, but it's one of those things where, with the help of Matt Blake, and this is an area I really do trust the Yankees in, I think they can get him right. And they were able to last year when he did fall off a cliff. Now, if it turns out to a thing where, all right, say he gets back on track and then, inconsistency shows up again, where like July and August, he's the worst pitcher of all time again, or just however it may be. Inconsistency, you can't have that as a closer. So we do need him to be like locked down. I'm not going to worry about it. One game in yet, though.
If anything, you just trade for Chapman at the deadline, then you have a new closer.
He looked pretty damn good the other day, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. I saw one clip. I guess it was the 103 fastball, like the one in the inside corner. It's like, damn, Chapman. But I ain't gonna roast you too much because this is the overreactions topic. Sure. So everybody keep that in mind.
But before we get into topic number 3, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, FOCO. They have all the best merchandise, all the best Yankees merchandise, memorabilia out there. Dan has that snazzy hat. Look at this sweatshirt. It's like a waffle texture too. It's really cozy.
It's nice. I got that coming in. I'm pumped about it. Bobbleheads. Got to show them off, which I think have a few more of these coming in too, but I've been showing this one off a lot, or this one, excuse me.
Nice.
Garrett Cole, Whitey Ford. They got everything you could want between modern bobbleheads, old bobbleheads. They got apparel. They got, these dope hats, which, by the way, I got a haircut. Do you like it? Wall art, all that stuff. FOCO. Guys, the season is here. It's time to get decked out. The way I see it, you can't be watching a Yankee game not with a Yankee logo on you somewhere.
Sure.
Could be your pants, could be your shirt, could be, I don't know, a hat, could be maybe even on your wall. Underwear? I guess I'll allow that as well. Or underwear. I have Yankee underwear, actually. I don't know where it is. But FOCO, shout out to them. Code Yankees Avenue, 15% off.
Beautiful.
Love you, FOCO.
But let's get into topic number 3 here, and that is Anthony friggin' Volpe. I would say that he's kind of been a little impressive in his first 3 games as a New York Yankee. Dan, would you say that you've been satisfied with what we've seen from the 21-year-old shortstop?
1,000%, especially when 3 games in, his only real blemish, if you will, was that line drive knuckleball to shortstop, which did score a run. And Volpe said it kept him up at night, or is going to keep him up at night. That's how much he was thinking about it. But that ball, tough play, sinking right at him. I excuse that. And, there are definitely going to be some growing pains. We got to get used to that. But the fact that was the only thing that kind of like raised your eyebrows a little bit, I thought he was great, man. Got his first 2 hits in game 2, stole 3 bases, which is like a Yankee record of some sort, at least dating back to like the early 1900s for a rookie. I thought he's looked good. The defense has looked solid. The arm has actually impressed me quite a bit. There was one throw, man, where he put some goddamn juice on it. And I was like, all right, Volpe. And the more and more I watch him, because I feel like, you kind of know the bat's going to be there right away. You see the plate discipline skills and the swing and strike skills, and obviously the speed, like, all right, this dude's going to be good. You also know the power is going to be there. But there was one question mark kind of going into this year with him, and it was, that defense. And the fact that every time I watch him, I get more and more comfortable with him there. I'm like, I think it's only going to get better. So, dude, Volpe, I thought looked great this weekend. And also, too, what's nice, it's where, like, he's just a Yankee. Like, once you get to game 2, you settle in, and all these players were like, you're a new guy or whatever. By this point, it almost doesn't really feel like a new season in a way, if that makes sense. It's like, yo, we're about to be a week in. Like at some point, you're a part of the team, and I'm already feeling that with Volpe, which I think is nice.
Sure. Yeah, no. I'm definitely impressed with what we've seen from Volpe so far. I think the defense has been solid. I think the at-bats are good. There's been maybe like one or two at-bats where it's like, yo, he looked overmatched. But other than that, I think like overall, outstanding success. And yeah, I think the stolen bases are huge. Obviously, he has like 3 in his first 3 games, which is sick. And also, that's kind of what we talked about coming into the season. Like he provides the Yankees with something in their lineup that they've been missing, and that's the stolen base threat. It's the speed, it's the contact, it's the walks. It's just great at bats at the right now bottom of the order, but eventually it's going to work its way to the top. And yeah, I think that really I don't have much complaints about Volpe's start. I mean, how could you have complaints? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially with
definitely.
his on-field performance. And obviously, if you want to nitpick, like if you're somebody like me, you look at like his post-game interviews, and then you look at like how they asked him about like, oh, how do you feel about like making that play? And he's smiling while he's like, yeah, I definitely like hurt my team there. Stuff like that irks me a little bit, just because like I don't want to see you like. I know it's like a nervous smile. I know he's like a
Mhm.
21-year-old, but at the same time, like I don't want to see you smiling when you're saying like, yeah, I definitely hurt my team. Because then my thing is, if you want to be Derek Jeter, Jeter wouldn't have been smiling during that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
have been
So
like pissed.
we talked to this a little bit before the show. I totally agree with you on that sentiment. Just in general, was a big problem with Chapman and Sonny Gray, a couple other obvious ones as well. With Volpe, totally excuse for me. I mean, this dude talks every time he talks to the media. It's like he's talking to a girl for the first time. It seems always smiling, seems like a little bit nervous, and I think that's what that was, especially when when the way Chapman would talk after interviews, or say I don't know Sonny Gray, or even like Greg Bird. It's the message was also poor as well. It wasn't just like the lackadaisical, the smile that was like annoying. Like Greg Bird, remember when he said at one time after like striking out with bases loaded in the ninth, afterwards he was like, well, I didn't get that one, but I'll have 5,000, 6,000 more ABs in the big leagues. And, now he's not even in the big leagues. But with Volpe, at least, he said what he said was, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep at night. And I really let my team down. And like, we can't have it again. Those kind of vibes. A month from now, if he's still smiling like that in a post-game interview after, a loss,
But do
I'll
you
be
think
annoyed.
he's gonna? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like this is just who he is as a person. You
No,
know,
no, no,
like
no.
I
But he's
can't
not
see
going
it
to.
changing.
Nah, let's put it like this way. Say he's a 20-year veteran, 20 years from now in the Yankees. Do you think he's going to, or even, fuck, I don't care, a month or a year, 5 years, once he's an established veteran, he's going to act the exact same way he does now?
I'd hope not.
Look at
But it's
Judge. I
like
mean, Judge was also a lot more timid when he came up. There's a lot more smiles. I mean, you look at like just a veteran per se compared to when he was a rookie. Just in general, in the media, they're going to be a lot more stern, probably a lot more straightforward. Volpe is, dude, he's
no, we'll
just,
give it time. No, dude,
yeah, that's
we'll
all I'm
give it
saying. We got to
time.
give it some time on that,
No, I'm just saying if this is something that like continues in the future, and then it's like they're interviewing him after like striking out bases loaded in the postseason, and he's smiling, it becomes a problem.
And
Just
we'll
saying.
we'll address it then for sure.
Yeah.
One more thing on Volpe I want to talk about, just a specific example of how he can improve this team. The 7th inning in Game 3. So he has the leadoff walk, and I forget if he stole second base or I think Glaber walked, and there was first and second, and then double steal. Volpe takes third, Glaber takes second, and Rizzo just lost a fly ball to center field, sac fly, drives him in. I mean, little things like that that may even
Yeah.
go unnoticed. Just one, like we talked about the plate discipline, he's still able to get on base even if he doesn't get a hit. And then, instantly the second he's on first base, it's a possibility he could score. And there's probably only 4 or 5 players in the rest of the league that give you that opportunity. Like, this guy's on first. There's a very good chance. You don't even got to do much to get him to home plate. And that's kind of what happened here. Just there was a pass ball, a stolen base. Next, he scores on a fly ball to center field. So
Sure.
all good things for Anthony Volpe this series.
I agree. Moving on to topic number 4 here. Damn, we got to talk about the man of the hour, Aaron friggin' Hicks. He spoke to the media the other day. Obviously, he hasn't played in any. Well, he got an at bat, but he hasn't started in any of the Yankees' first 3 games of the season. And he had a little bit of a complaint about it. He said, I have no idea what my role is. I just want to play. I don't want to come off the bench and face closers all day. I want to play the field. I want to play every day. And it's just what I want to do. I want to start. I really don't know what else to say. Now, I'll give my thoughts on this. And I think that there's definitely a combination as to I can understand people when they say like, yo, Hicks, you kind of like made your bed, now lie in it. But also I can understand where Hicks is coming from when he says he just wants to play. You know what I mean? Like I can't really blame the guy for saying that he just wants to be on the field and prove himself. But also at the same time, he hasn't necessarily done much to earn that role. You know what I mean? So I'm like looking at it from mutual ground. I'm like, yo, if the Yankees weren't planning on playing him and they were going to plan on starting IKF in center field before they were going to put Aaron Hicks out there, Why is he on the team?
He's being paid $10 million. I mean, if they
I
could
know, but
trade him,
you couldn't dump. You wouldn't just pay him off if you're not even going to play the dude.
well, no, the Yankees clearly do see a role for him, and I think that's just facing left-handers, which means he'll probably get a start in Game 5 of the season against the Phillies. But I think it's terrible what Hicks said. Honestly, I think it's actually quite laughable. I mean, dude, you should be lucky. You should be grateful that you even have a roster spot. Period. I mean, yeah, could you maybe get everyday at bats with another team? Yeah, I guess, but no other team was willing to take you on. Like, we clearly tried to trade you this offseason, so kind of like, yo, what do you really expect after the year you put up last year? And I also think even if you do feel this way, and I get what you're saying, like obviously he wants to play every day. Of course he does. It's like, yo, don't you really just how stupid this sounds and just how like ignorant in a way? Like, do you not know you batted like 220 last year and was
I think he's
probably
just
the worst
over
player
it.
on the team? I just think some things you should know, even if like you truly feel them, like it's going to come off pretty damn bad. And just like, I don't want to come off the bench and face closers all day. Like, bro, you're lucky you got a job right now.
Sure. It was definitely worded in a very poor manner,
It kind of
but
like a moan job. It sounded like a moan job.
sure, like it's like a poor me kind of thing. But I can understand, like I respect the fact that he wants to play, right? And I think that it was just worded very poorly. Like, bro, the dude wants to be on the field. Like, I can't knock him for that. Would we rather him be like, nah, I don't want to be
I'll
playing
take,
right
you know
now.
what though? I think what I respect is the way IKF goes about things. He lost his starting job and they're kind of in similar roles, not starting and kind of looking for, what their role will be on the team this year. And what does he talk about all the time? He just wants to be a part of the team. He just wants to be Yankee. He just wants to win. I'm getting the total opposite vibes with Hicks right now. Now
Sure.
it doesn't make me hate him. I'm obviously still rooting for him and all, but it's like, yo, you're not really helping your case here. Kind of has borderline Joey Gallo vibes, who he hit a home run today, by the way. But
Two.
yeah,
He had two
I'm not a
home
fan.
runs
You're kidding.
and a
My
double.
cousin.
Yeah.
What? You're kidding.
Yeah. No, he really
Nice.
popped off. Yeah.
Rourke
But
blood,
yeah,
bruh.
going back to Aaron Hicks real quick, one thing I guess I will kind of like tie up this conversation with is that I'm just surprised that he hasn't started any of the first 3 games. Like, I do think that the Yankees starting IKF in center field over Hicks, I do think it's a little bit of a slap in the face. Like, if I were Aaron Hicks, I'd be like, damn, like get me out of New York,
That's fair. That's fair. I just
Like, we're looking at a guy who's never played center field in his life before.
I say that's fair because I was surprised when I saw ICAF wasn't there
Yeah.
today. But then you hear the reason, and it has to do with matchups and Stripling splits. I'm pretty sure were reversed to where he's. Was he a righty or whatever it was? Like the matchup, I remember reading he didn't favor Hicks. He'll probably be in there, I think, game 2 against the Phillies because they have a lefty starting, and that's what Hicks is good against. We'll see. I didn't like the quotes.
Yeah, but I mean, we're kind of like on the Hicks topic. I feel like Hicks and Donaldson kind of like go hand in hand. I think like we could both say, I know like the numbers aren't necessarily there. I'm not gonna say I'm impressed, but I like what I've seen from Donaldson.
I'm impressed.
The season. Yeah,
I'm impressed. First of all, one of the questions I had going in is like, yo, we're all just assuming the defense is still going to be there. Boy, the defense I think looks phenomenal. Some of the plays, not even like they were sparklers, but just the arm is incredible. Donaldson's defense, man, props to you. The offense was good. First of all, he was probably the biggest casualty of any of the horrible umpires of this weekend. That pitch I don't know if it was actually first or second game, whatever it was, but there was a strike 3 call on the outside corner that was just brutal, horrible, and really fucked the Yankees offense over, I think, for the remainder of that game. But anyways, hits a homer that game, and that was awesome, first of all, of course. Great, but some of just like the plate discipline I've seen, I'm not bothered by it. I mean, we see the last year a lot with the strikes right down the middle. So far, it looks like the pitches he's taking are balls, although some of them have been called strikes. I'm pleased with what I've seen from Donaldson so far. 3 games in, of course, but he looks good.
No, I agree 1,000%. And that's why like I'm also looking at like that strike 3 call that was like 3 inches off the plate. And I saw people like ripping on Donaldson, like, yo, that's too close to take. Dude, if that's any other player, bro, no one else is being like, honestly, that's too close to take.
I think Yankee fans were pretty decent about that pitch because it was so bad, but you're definitely right. And talking about Stan, I want to mention it like 20% of the way with Donaldson. He's also not terrible with the way he's handled things. I mean, I agree. Outside of the actual controversies that he's caused, but like, you would think.
I mean, it's just it's one.
Well, I'm not even going to talk like that's a separate thing, but just talking about him like reacting to being treated poorly, which is deserved, but he hasn't ever said like F you to the fans as far as I remember. So, he's
handled it better than
if you can get through a season doing like your worst year of a career, handle all that, and then come back with a bounce back this year, it could be pretty awesome. We'll see. It's definitely still early.
But speaking of guys who can't really handle fan bases well. Anthony Rendon. Dan, I don't know if you saw this. And so kind of like prefacing the situation here, it sounds like there was a heckler heckling Anthony Rendon, calling him names in Oakland. First of all, kind of shocking that there was even an A's fan at that game. But it looks like after the game, when Rendon was like walking his way to the tunnel, he confronted the fan.
It looks like it, Pat. It looks like it, yeah.
What do you mean?
Clear as day, bro. He grabbed that motherfucker right by the shirt.
Yeah, no, he grabs him and he goes, who'd you call a bitch? And then the guy's like, I didn't say that. And then Rendon swings at him. Bro, yeah. He has him by his shirt. He lets him go and then he swings at him and then he misses. He walks away. Bro, keep in mind, in the background, you can see Trout walking by, Ohtani walking by, Renfroe walking by. There's security. No one is doing anything. At what point, like, because then you start asking yourself questions, right? You're like, are they walking by because the fan deserved it? Are they walking by just because they don't really care about Rendon? Like there's so many questions I have here.
Scary looking dude, bro. He had the crazy. I'm with you.
No, he had crazy eyes.
He had the crazy eyes like I've never seen, bro. Like, damn. And like, it's one of those situations, bro. Like, because I have a couple buddies like this, like particularly my friend Colin. Like, you'll see him, bro, and it's like, yo, there's certain moments where you know, like, not to mess with somebody, like when they're like their hot head phase. And dude, with Rendon, I mean, that looked like the prelude to a clip of something I've seen on, like, I don't know, Forensic Files or like some shit like that. He looked about to kill the dude, is what I'm pointing at. So
sure,
but I actually I don't mind it, to be honest, because I think a lot of these fans, and you see like on social media and stuff, it's like, yo, you think you can say these things, but it's like, would you really say it to their face? And then of course he gets in his face. He's like, oh no, I didn't say that, which I'm sure he did. We of course don't know the whole story, but dude, if it's one of those things like, yeah, I guess you can't do. Do I blame Rendon though? No, not really. Have I been calling him Rodon, by the way? And Rendon?
Rendon.
I think I called him Rodon before, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, he's never on the field anyway. But I will say I'm blaming him. Bro, I'm definitely blaming him here. And I feel like this is something we've talked about in the past. But as a professional baseball player, you hold yourself to a higher standard, and you have to kind of understand that heckling is a part of the game. Dude, if this random A's fan in the stands is calling you a bitch, like sorry, but you kind of just have to like sit there and realize, yo, I'm a professional baseball player. Like, I'm being heckled. That's just my life. You know what I mean? And to walk past him, if you want to say something, fine. Right. I even think that that's like a little bit stooping to his level. But the fact that you went, grabbed this fan by his shirt and then swung at him, dude, that's stupid. Like,
the swinging is bad. But also, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't like he was like, I don't even know if he was really trying to hit him. It was kind of just like
I think he was. No,
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm with what you're saying. You should probably do more of like we'll see Kyrie do it sometimes where like some fan will say something to him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And he'll comment back. He'll tell him like, suck it, But
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What are you doing if you're the fan? Like, let's say because Dan, like me and you both know, like when we go to games, like you're a little bit rabid.
Oh my God, dude. It's the funniest thing. Like I remember the last time I remember the first time I went to a Yankee game last year and I saw Josh Donaldson's box, it was like, man, the last time I saw this guy, I was calling him every name in the book because he was with the Twins. And I'm just thinking like, yo, like Donaldson, let's say, if he had the same mindset as Rendon, which shit, they're probably pretty similar if you think about it. Like, yo, Donaldson deservedly could have beat my ass because I said some dumb, stupid stuff.
I know, but like, would you think that that's okay?
No, but I get it. I think you can say both things. Like, you're right. Like,
would you take that? Like, would you take Anthony Rendon swinging at you? Or are you swinging back?
I would probably, if he grabbed me like that and I did call him a bitch, like I would be honestly be scared, like totally scared. But just because I know that's probably on video, I would not let myself utter the words, I didn't call you that. Because then you really look
No, you look dumb, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I didn't.
You just gotta own it. It's one of those things, bro. Even if you might like take one to the face, like you kind of just gotta own it for your integrity. But if he did swing at me, bro, then you got full range. Just like, yo, I'm hopping on the field and like I might get my ass kicked, but I'm not going down without a fight.
Bro, personally, I'm not letting Anthony Rendon grab my shirt like that. Like I'm just not.
This guy sure
like
did.
At some point, like if Anthony Rendon's pulling you down from the stands by your shirt, like at what point are you not swiping his hand away? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we say this now, but that dude in the moment, bro, like that's another thing I want to say. Like, I don't know exact because I've never been in that situation. Like, it probably is very freaky, bro. Like when you're like, dude, imagine that. Like, you're like, this guy's like right here, bro, and this guy's with the crazy eyes looking at you, bro. I'm good. Yo, maybe we don't go off. I would say it's gonna lead to Rendon finally going off this year for the first time in his like $200 million contract, but he's already hurt. I'm pretty sure. Like he already is missing. I think
he actually?
two. Yeah, not like an IL thing just yet, but it's funny, yo. It's like this is gonna be the bounce back year for you, and then you're causing trouble 2 games later or a game later, you're already hurt.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Pretty crazy contract by them. I mean, he was 32, which I love when that happened, by the way, because he got 250 mil. And that was always my argument. Like, yo, Rendon got 250 mil. Judge could easily get 250 on the open market.
Yeah.
Don't know how that worked out, but
Yeah.
yo, we should probably get out of here. Fun show. Yo, we're kind of back and it feels nice to be able to just talk about baseball again and not have to just like preview and predict all this. It's like, yo, watch games, react to them. That's the shit we're on now. Speaking of, we don't have an official schedule update, but just to let you guys know, normally, we're Mondays and Fridays. We're going to try to do this revolving around like series, possibly. Hopefully, we'll keep you updated like on socials and all that. So we'll just expect, could be an episode dropping on Thursday after or Wednesday night after the conclusion of the Phillies series. And we'll see how that works. But
which, I mean, bro, but before we get into socials, can I just say, like, I think weekday day games are despicable.
Horrible.
It's a crime against humanity. I'm just saying.
Messes me up, bro. Because I always got to do like baseball today. That's at 11:30. And then like, yo,
what's
I'm
the
editing
logic
to,
behind it?
I mean, I'm sure there is some logic, but it's just like, I don't really get it. I think it works perfect. I think there should be like one day game a week and that should be Sundays. I think Saturday games should be awesome night games.
Yeah, because bro, like, let's just be real. Like what can you be doing for a living where you can like go to a Wednesday game at 1:00? Like opening day, I get because like you take off work for that. But why would you take off for Yankees Phillies on April 6th?
Well, they don't, and that's why you'll see like that'll probably be the lowest sellout or the lowest selling crowd of the season so far on Wednesday. So I don't really get it, but it's what it is. Yo, socials, where can they find you?
Twitter and TikTok at Unhinged Patrick, Instagram at True Hennessy, and also I'm going live on the Better YouTube channel every single weekday.
Shout out Better. Yo. Dan on Rourke on Twitter, Dan on Rourke on Instagram, Yankees Avenue Instagram, Yankees Avenue here on YouTube. Thanks again, guys, for 100K.
100K.
I feel like I'm really awkward about this stuff, but I do really appreciate it, bro. I've been waiting on this for like months and months now. I don't even like know exactly how to react, but it's sick. I'll probably talk about it more later. But yo,
you know what you should do? 100,000 push-ups.
I actually can do a decent amount of push-ups. One of the best moments in my life was, I was at a party chilling, and they whipped out the pull-up bar, and I won with like 14 pull-ups, I think, which is pretty solid. Like these pull-ups, not chin-ups. But yo, thanks for 100K, guys. Appreciate you. See you after the Phillies series, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go Yankees.
Her body's gone like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine.